morning, everyone. This is Stephanie, and this is Stephanie Builds Wealth. Welcome back if you've been here before. Welcome if you're new. I am documenting my journey, mostly to keep myself accountable and also as an experiment to see if this can help anybody else and to prepare me for being able to help other people understand why they have the relationship they do with money, whether they understand it or they don't, or they're starting to understand that there's maybe something a little bit more deeper to why they do what they do. A little bit about myself. I am first generation American into this country. So I came from a background where money was not talked about. And I'm learning that that is something that is not unique to me, that millions of other people are raised in that situation, which might sound silly, but it was surprising for me to know that, because we're taught to believe that everyone knows how to manage money, and turns out really nobody does. Even people that have finance degrees don't even know what they're doing. So I wanted to go ahead and hold myself accountable by documenting my journey, utilizing my training in psychology for behavioral analysis, pattern recognition, and NLP. So if that seems like something that's interesting to you, maybe to understand why you do what you do with money, and maybe that could help you with other parts of your life, feel free to subscribe, like, and share this. It's a very easy way to help the channel reach more people. We live in a world where everything is about algorithms, even if we don't understand it. So that being said, today we're going to talk about sinking funds and savings. Very excited about that. I was not anticipating this to be happening at this point in the year, but I'm very happy to be able to share this with you. So February's NLP message is money loves me, money finds me, money trusts me. And like I said last time, and I'll probably say the rest of the month, I feel that this is a very powerful message because a lot of us were raised not believing these things in a good way. With our relationship with money, with our parents' relationship with money, with whatever happened in the family, if you were comfortable and something happened and that changed, all these little things affect us, and we don't even really understand it till we actually start handling money. And we get to a point as we get older where we realize, why do I keep getting in the same situation? Why do these things happen? So I really like to start off the month before I get to work in my section of the year that I like looking at these messages, and I've gotten to a point in my body where I don't reject the message and I accept the message in a happy, positive way, in a more healthy, positive way. So I can say that money does love me. Money does find me in a good way. Money finds me in positive ways and empowering ways, not to hurt me, but to help me. Money trusts me. Money trusts me. I have made a lot of effort to educate myself about finances and become a good steward of money and learn how to acquire money in a good reception and learn how to let it go with happiness in my heart, especially when you're paying bills and paying debts. How you leave things is how they come back to you. So I would prefer for money to find me in a positive way and an impactful way. So now that that message is out there in the world, I want to go ahead and share some really incredible news with you that I was not anticipating to share. And I'm going to go ahead and get some updated sinking fund page here. Now, if you recall from the last video, I had shared that I had a lot of plans for sinking funds that I wanted to give my attention to, but having to be honest with myself about my current financial situation and obligations in this season of my life, I had to make the decision that all of these sinking funds were just not possible, and I could only do maybe 3 consistently and short term, not long term. So I got rid of everything except my car registration, my Amazon Prime, and my Republic services. And if you notice here, that's a lot more than 3. What happened? Well, I'll tell you what happened. In case you're ever in this situation, this could be helpful for you. So I had submit my tax return, and I had shared before that I had plans for my tax return where I was going to get my tax return, pay off my car registration in full, use the remaining balance to pay off one of my debts, and then for that 6-month time frame, free up the monthly amount that would have gone to my car insurance on a monthly basis. Well, what happened is I got a letter from the state, and I opened it up, and I wasn't quite understanding what the message was saying to me. And the tone of the letter seemed that I needed to call and set up a payment plan, which I had already set up and I'm already on back in October of last year. And so I called the number, long story short, I called the number and I asked one of the state reps to explain the letter to me. And she explained to me that all the letter was saying was that it was a notice that if I didn't pay 5% of the outstanding balance every 28 days, that the IRS was within their rights to intercept and withhold my or any tax return for as long as it takes until the balance is paid off. I had no idea that was a thing. I was very shocked and confused, and I was very frustrated because I was looking at the letter while the state rep was reading or giving me that information. Nowhere on the letter that I got, nowhere on any of the other letters that I've gotten back in October when all this was decided, does it give any of that information that the expectation in order for me to keep my tax return is that I had to pay 5% of the balance every 28 days. And if I didn't do that, then the IRS was within the rights to basically absorb any tax return until that happened. And I told her, I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm kind of surprised because I didn't have that information. And she said, yeah, that's just what it is. So if you were expecting a tax return, just forget that because it's not going to happen. Now, I'm not going to lie, I felt a bit defeated. I had the thought process that, I had plans to do good things with that money. I wasn't going to be reckless and spend it. And now that option is out the window. So what it did was it created a chain of events where I had to sit with that. I had to make peace with that and look at the bright side that, okay, so the tax return is going to get absorbed and put towards the balance of what I owe to the state. So it's not lost money. Technically, it's not money that I even had at that point. So does it really make a difference if I don't get money that I didn't even have in the first place? Okay, no. So then I decided to make that, I had to NLP myself and change the thought process and change the pathway that even though I wasn't getting the money distributed to me directly to do what I needed to do or what I wanted to do with it, the money would still be going to something positive, which would be to drop the overall debt balance that I had. So I made peace with it. And then it started a chain of events where I thought, okay, well, the plan was to pay off my auto insurance for 6 months and then use that $204 to pay off debt. So that's not an option anymore. So I ended up calling around and very happy to say that I got auto insurance locked in for a year instead of 6 months with AAA. And I was going to pay $204.66 a month with Progressive. By switching to AAA, my rate is locked in to $170.23 until February next year. So that was huge. I've already set that up. I canceled my Progressive policy and I am now waiting for the refund, which I think is going to be $154.64. So that is the Progressive refund. It's really hard to write at an angle, so let me. Okay, great. So it's not a tax return amount, but that's already going to a debt balance, made peace with that, changed my auto insurance. And one morning this was last Thursday or Friday morning, I woke up and so I'm getting ready for my day. I'm going through my Audible selection. I'm picking an audiobook to listen to. And then I just happened to check my bank account to see what the balance was. And I had over $2,000 in my account. And I was really confused for a second. I thought, it's nowhere near payday for my company. How am I having this money? And when I opened up my checking account, by the grace of God, I actually got my tax return given to me. I was blown away. I absolutely had made peace so that I wasn't getting it in the way that I wanted to use it. So I had made peace with not getting it, and then I got it. So I sat with that and I thought, okay, I have a chance here. I have a second chance to take my tax return that I was not anticipating to get, and I can be very strategic with it. So what do I want to do? The tax return in and of itself was $1,836. None of my debts would be able to get to zero by using the tax return. And my biggest concern was freeing up the $206 a month that would have been Progressive, but that's no longer an issue anymore, right? So Progressive is handled. I have a much more affordable auto insurance with better coverage, and I'm getting a refund from this. So I thought, okay, let me be really smart here. I don't have to worry about having to figure out how to budget $204 a month because that's off the table now. What I decided to do was fund a couple sinking funds that were very necessary. So I funded my Republic service that's already fully funded at $52, and it is 2 months ahead of schedule. I funded my pet health insurance deductible of $250. So this is now fully funded. I funded my home warranty deductible. So this is also now fully funded. I also, since I fully funded my Republic services, I don't need that extra money to go here anymore because it's done. I rolled over that extra amount of $1,733 into the car registration, and I did the math. This will be fully funded 2 months ahead of schedule. So currently, my car registration is at $100.01 from the high yield savings account. Amazon Prime is at $15.01. I was able to put money into the emergency fund. This is now at $198.72. Let's see, where are we at? So I think that's it now. I'm incredibly grateful that I was able to do this because I needed to have my car registration done. Amazon Prime saves me so much money and time being able to cross-reference prices and have things sent to me instead of me having to go look for them. Huge time saver, huge gas saver. Republic Services was a non-negotiable. You need to have your trash, right? Pet deductible, if you have pets, you understand that it's not if, it's when the cats or the dogs or the whatever get injured, you have to take them to the vet. So I'm very, that was Squeaker, she slipped. I'm very glad that I have this now. I don't have to worry about it. It will not go on a credit card. This will not go on a credit card. The car will not go on a credit card. Amazon Prime will not go on a credit card. None of this will go on a credit card. So Yes, so I will start funding the emergency fund and I will start funding the water reclamation because we need to have that. And I completely forgot about that until I got a notice that I had a credit on my account from last year. This is due 7/31, so I've got time to get that done. And as my sinking funds get fully funded, so once the car registration is fully funded, I will roll that over into my emergency fund. Once, I think that's pretty much it at this point, because everything else is just on low amounts. And then as the year progresses and I get higher income, I'll be able to change this. But I'm very happy that I'm able to share this with you. The balance of 198, that's the money that was left over. I needed to use my tax return to pay off a credit card because I had to put the new AAA auto insurance down payment on that card, and then I had to pay off the balance off of my physical therapy. I found out that my company's reimbursement of $600 wellness doesn't actually get generated on the next payday. I called and found out that they do reimburse you, but they reimburse you at the end of the following month. So all of the credits that I put on January, I will not see them till the end of February. And then the remaining balance of the $300 that I put on for February, I will not get that reimbursed to me until the end of March. And that is if I stay at that job, if I don't get offered a position somewhere else. But at that point, it's a higher income, so it won't matter. So I don't currently have this $600 reimbursement yet. It's going to take me 3 months to get that. And then also my reimbursement with US Bank. Turns out that even though I met the 90-day criteria, they're not going to issue me the $300 credit. I thought it'd be $500, but apparently I missed a paycheck, so I didn't qualify for the $500. The $300 reimbursement I won't see until March or April. So I have $600 worth of reimbursement that I pretty much can do nothing but sit and wait for. So I had to use some of the tax return to pay off those credit card balances so that I didn't get interest dinged on them. And then I used the balance that was left over to restock my pantry for dry goods that I ran out of, and I just did not have it in the budget to restock them. And I was able to get a couple things for the house and the cats and myself. So I'm incredibly grateful that I was gifted a second chance to use my tax return, and that I was able to use my tax return strategically and not be wasteful with it. I was able to fund 3 accounts in full. I'm able to start rolling over the balances of those into 2 different sinking funds. Very excited about that. All my pantry, the things I needed are done. And so now I'm just waiting for those $600 to be reimbursed to me by end of March, end of April. And then once I get those, we'll go from there. So now we're gonna do some fun stuff here. So home warranty fund is fully funded. So we'll put this here. 214. I waited to do this with you guys because it's really fun, right? And it's inspiring to see this happen. So I guess I should put hearts, right? It's Valentine's Day. Let's put hearts. This is fully funded, which is amazing. I remember I had said that I wanted to use my tax return to get a laptop, but I'm okay right now. I don't need another monthly payment. So that, yay, this is fully funded. I want to put that up here. All right, so the home warranty deductible is fully funded. Very exciting. Pet insurance deductible is fully funded. And I'm very happy about this because my cat looks like she's got some allergies. And my dad's cat has some allergies, it looks like. So now that the deductible is met, or I have the deductible, the reimbursement should kick in at 90%. Oh, I went a little overboard. That's okay. Pet insurance, fully funded. Very excited about this. Yay. Republic Service, fully funded. Fully funded. 214. And this total is 52. 2 months early. And Amazon Prime, that is new here. And then for the car, right here, since we're doing like 2 now. Yay! So excited. And, oh, that will actually need to be updated. I didn't put in the newest balance here. Let me do that really quick. So, where's the car registration? This is now $150 and 34 cents. Amazon Prime is now $20. Emergency fund. This is now $203.72. This is, I don't remember if I had this one set up, so I'm gonna leave that blank for now. Pet deductible, water reclamation. This is $12. Oh my gosh, I love this. I love this. So, thoughts and feels. How do I feel about this? I feel grateful, happy, and empowered. I feel that where I'm at now versus where I was back in October when I was just not sure how I was going to get through with my current financial situation, it is a complete change. The fact that I went from having no savings, not a penny into savings, to fully funding 3 sinking funds, getting ready to fully fund my car registration, getting ready to start funding my emergency fund, my water reclamation, get to a point where I can start maxing these out before the end of the year, getting to a point where I'm reinforcing my skill set so I can get a higher paying job and then knock this out quickly. I feel so happy and I feel blessed, and it just brings me back to my NLP mantra that money does love me, money finds me, and it did. $1,836 found me. It came to me because it trusted that I would be careful with it and do good things with it, not waste it and be mindless with it. Every penny of this tax return that I had made peace I was not going to get, I was able to utilize for something good. And those good things were able to take care of me. Money loves me, money finds me, money trusts me. And if this is not proof that rewiring your brain can change your external reality, even just a little bit at a time, this is a very powerful message. And this is why I love working with these things. It all starts in the body. We are source, right? So if our body feels it and believes those feelings are true, our mind will accept it and it will create the external reality we are creating for ourselves internally. It all starts with you. So I really hope that this is inspiring for people. Literally back in October, this didn't exist. This was not possible. I was not in a good headspace, and learning to utilize my psychology training on myself to start getting to a more positive, higher thought process started to change my external reality. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I can share with you, is that you can tell yourself in your head all of the things, but if you don't feel it in your body, whatever you're trying to tell yourself is going to be rejected. Because if your body doesn't feel the emotions and the thoughts you're telling yourself, your mind will fight it. And what your mind is like the remote control. If your mind doesn't believe what your body is feeling and experiencing, your mind will make that reality what your head is saying instead of what your body is feeling. So it's really important to get your internal self in a place where you are regulated, and what you're feeling is what your mind accepts, because whatever your mind accepts is going to create the reality around you. And this is actual proof that this is happening. I was not in a situation where this was possible. So between October and this year, I have been able to change my thought process, allow my body to accept the truth, which reinforces my mind that, okay, if this is really what we're feeling and this feels right, I need to make this happen in the real world. The fact that I got the tax return after I had taken care of the problem, which was something that I wasn't sure I would be able to financially afford, was paying $204.66 a month towards just one bill for auto insurance, especially when I'm barely driving. That was my biggest challenge. And once I tackled that challenge, I got rewarded with a refund of $154.64, which I don't have yet, but it is coming. And once I took care of that, I was gifted with a financial reward. And then once I knew what I was going to do with that, I was gifted with an even bigger financial reward. I'm telling you, this mind over matter thing, this is real. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope that it made you happy and it inspired you, and you can start working on some money scripts for yourself. And I can do a video and help teach you how to do that and how to find what those money wounds are. That being said, I hope you have an amazing week, and I will catch you on the next video. Bye.